Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. Today we're making a very simple Spanish rice dish that's not only packed with a ton of flavors, but it's the kind of food that with each bite, it's going to fill you with so many nutrients. We're talking a creamy Spanish tuna rice. This is known as Arroz Meloso con Atún. Now the beauty of this recipe, besides the fact that it's effortless to make and done using just a handful of ingredients, is that it comes together in 40 minutes, yet those flavors feel like they've been simmering for hours. Folks, this is the perfect dish for a busy weeknight or even for a relaxed weekend lunch. Either way, make sure to enjoy it next to a bottle of Spanish wine for the ultimate dining experience. This video is sponsored by Tienda.com. La Tienda is an online superstore focusing on selling all things Spain for your home and kitchen, and they've been around since 1996. And like I always tell you, they have the biggest selection of artisan Spanish ingredients, like queso manchego, the famous jamón serrano and jamón ibérico, Marcona almonds, olives, the beautiful canned seafood from Spain, and all the spices you need to make all your favorite Spanish recipes, among so many other great ingredients. And let me tell you, when it comes to cookware, they have an amazing selection of authentic Spanish paella pans that range in size from 2 servings all the way up to 50 servings. And they even offer classic grilling systems, that way you can always perfectly cook your paella at home. Folks, visit Tienda.com. Let them know Albert from Spain on a Fork sent you there, and make sure you use coupon code ONAFORK during checkout for 10% off your order. Alright, let's begin by adding in 1 liter of vegetable broth into a saucepan, which is about 4 1/4 cups. You can also use chicken broth here, or even water if you like. Either way, link on how to make my homemade veggie broth in the description box below. Then we'll pinch in a 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads, which is 0.17 grams, and heat it with a medium-high heat. For the next step, I'm going to drain 2 cans of tuna in olive oil into a fine sieve with a bowl underneath. The size of the cans that I'm using are 4 ounces, which is 110 grams each. Link where you can get the Spanish tuna I'm using in the description box below. And then we'll gently flake the tuna to remove any of the excess oil. And we'll also finely chop 1 small onion, roughly chop 4 large cloves of garlic, finely chop 1 red bell pepper, and finely chop 1 small carrot that's been peeled. Then we'll heat a large fry pan with a medium heat and add in 3 tablespoons of the drained olive oil from the canned tuna, which is 45 milliliters. If you're using canned tuna and water here, just use regular olive oil. After a couple minutes, we'll add in the chopped vegetables. And we'll mix them around continuously. That way they don't brown too quickly and it all evenly sautés. After 3 to 4 minutes, and the veggies are lightly sauteed, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is 2.5 grams. And we'll give it a quick mix, that way that paprika is evenly coating all the ingredients. Then we'll add in half a cup of tomato sauce, which is 120 grams. As always, I made my sauce by finely grating fresh tomatoes, but you can also use canned tomato sauce here, or even passata. And we'll give it a mix, and then simmer it for a few minutes. After 3 to 4 minutes, and the tomato sauce is slightly thickened, it's time to add in the rice. I'm going to measure out 1 cup of rice, which is 190 grams, and add it into the pan. For this recipe, I'm using Spanish bomba rice, which is the one that's typically used to make paella, very similar to arborio rice. Of course, you can use any rice you want here. However, you might need to use less broth, as this type of rice absorbs more liquid than others. And we'll season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll mix the rice around continuously and go for a couple minutes. After about 2 minutes and the rice is lightly toasted, we'll grab our simmering saffron-infused vegetable broth and gently add it into the fry pan. And you don't have to mix the rice around continuously, but do it every 2 to 3 minutes, as that's going to help release the starch in the rice, which is going to help thicken that broth, and at the end, give us that beautiful creamy goodness. After about 15 minutes, and that rice is just cooked through, important to check the package instructions in the rice that you're using. We'll add in the drained tuna, and we'll give it 1 final mix. That way that tuna is well mixed into the rice. Don't place the lid on the pan, and remove the pan from the heat and let it sit there between 2 to 3 minutes. You know, by trapping that steam in there, it's going to ensure that each grain of rice is perfectly cooked through. After about 2 to 3 minutes, we'll remove the lid, transfer some of the rice into a serving dish, and garnish with fresh parsley. Check it out, Arroz Meloso con Atún. Creamy Spanish tuna rice, easy to make, simple ingredients, and all done in just 40 minutes. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. Once again, folks, Arroz Meloso con Atún. This I am so excited to try. Big boy bite, here we go. Still nice and piping hot, check that out. Absolutely delicious. And like I told you at the beginning, you gotta feel that with each bite. It's packed with flavors and it fills you with so much nutrition. The rice is beautifully cooked. The vegetables in that tuna give it such a great texture and that creaminess, that lift of goodness. You should try it at home, an extra crunchy baguette, and like I told you earlier, a bottle of Spanish wine, more specifically from the region of Alicante, you're gonna have yourself one heck of a fabulous meal. Enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.